To put it gently, this video might be a touch more controversial than my other ones. But it's an important topic. Am I, the genetically blessed white North American male, the best candidate for the topic at hand? Well, I mean, I don't know. And who am I really kidding? One of the most popular stereotypes around is that white people can't dance. Regardless, it has to be done. And I'm the one that's here to grab the metaphorical bull by the horns and settle it once and for all. The definitive stereotype tier list. The tiers go as followed. SS tier, nothing is more correct and true than this. S tier, which is a little worse. A tier, which is even a little more worse. B tier, which is a little worse than A, but way better than C. C being the absolute worst. And D tier being things that should have never been willed into existence. So now that that's all settled, let's get into it. We'll start at the end of the pack in D tier, and coming in dead last is the boombox. And this one might be pretty biased due to the upbringing that I had, but boomboxes and the people that like them are subhuman, plain and simple. And I mean seriously, who in their right mind thinks wearing a backpack on the front of their body with a shitty sound system sticking out of it while walking through the mall is something other people want to deal with? What you've done is created your own shit world and forced the rest of localized humanity to live in it. I don't know. Anytime I see this, it just makes me feel like America is a third world country that tries to fit in by wearing a Gucci belt. Don't get me wrong. Do boomboxes have potential? Absolutely. Bringing a portable stereo to the beach or a skate park for the boys so they can listen to the latest Kendrick versus Drake beef and have intricate and thought-provoking conversation about the octuple entendres that may or may not exist throughout the songs? Not the worst idea out there currently.
You a poopy bench, you a poopy bench, liar, liar, pants on fire.
But then what if another group of people shows up, with their own group boombox, and they only listen to Ed Sheeran and Kid Cudi? It's literally a hate crime waiting to happen. And I honestly can't stand by and watch that unfold, so the boombox hate must continue. This stereotype is in D tier where it belongs. We'll move away from the disgusting creation that is the boombox for now, and we'll take a look at the common millennial's most cherished childhood memory. The MP3 player, / Walkman, / personal stereo, / a divine creation gifted to us by the one true God, some Chinese boy in an underground factory. The MP3 player, to me at least, is a piece of my life that I'm extremely grateful for. It blew the door wide open for music listening. The tiny LED screen, 2 volume options ranging from deathly quiet to eardrum rupturing, and most importantly it taught me how bad LimeWire was for my parents' computer. The main perk of these types of devices is the portability of them. This was way before the smartphones. We're talking the BlackBerry era and beyond. Spotify and YouTube Music weren't around yet. But you know what was? The iPod Nano. Hell yeah, dude. 32 songs on repeat, and all of them were Breaking Benjamin and Linkin Park. And guess what, you boombox fucks? I was the only person listening to it. And I must say, the bus ride to school in my predominantly white neighborhood was excellent. My $3 wired headphones plugged into the aux port is all that separated me from my Neanderthal brethren. Are the portable stereo users a group of elitists? Probably. Is it justified? Probably. Is there a slight hint of racism hidden within the majority of them? Probably. But when it comes down to it, none of that's really important. Because at the end of the day, the best escape from the real world in the early 2000s for kids on antidepressants who locked themselves in their rooms, not that I would know anything about that or anything, was the trusty MP3 player. Not only did it teach you about music, but it also taught you how to use the internet to find the latest Soulja Boy songs, all while inadvertently destroying your own computer one torrent at a time. At least nowadays we all know that pirating is a bad thing and you shouldn't do it. Unless you have a reputable source, of course. S tier stereotype. Up next we have the car stereo. This stereotype is quite situational. It could range anywhere from the top or bottom of the list depending on several variables. Obviously the main one is having a car at all. Depending on how third world or anti-climate change you are, this whole topic could be entirely irrelevant to your life. But for the gifted and woke individuals, you understand that having a good sound system in the whip can make or break a road trip. When cars were first getting souped up with all the electronic goods and we were finally tired of listening to horses complain.
Rehab was supposed to be a fresh start, but no matter how many starts I get, there's always the same ending. Everything falls apart, and I end up alone.
The sound quality was not all there, but it was new and exciting, so no one really thought to complain about it. Nowadays it feels like a new method of Chinese torture when you get trapped in your friend's 2004 Toyota Corolla, fully equipped with a Bluetooth speaker and sound delay. And when you're placed in that scenario, the urge to open the passenger door and French kiss the freeway has never been stronger. Obviously no hate to Toyota. Those folks know how to make a quality vehicle. I for one love our Japanese overlords. In the new car world, you've got companies like Harman Kardon and Bose being implemented into these vehicles. And they sure know how to make you feel like you're being hugged by multiple sound waves in all directions. So for all of these reasons, I'm putting the car stereo in A tier. And C tier. Because it's either an all-around good experience, or it's an experience that calls you straight to the void. As an example, we have every episode of Pimp My Ride. And there's really no real in-between to that. There's another certified classic that we have to look at. And that's the home stereo sound system. If you're looking to be the best upstairs neighbor you can, I suggest developing an interest in a home sound system. As we all know, surround sound is an absolute scam. There's no point in buying 11 speakers for every corner and angle of your living room just so you can hear Jack Sparrow slur his words from the back of your head. Newsflash, you don't have ears back there. So then why would you spend $400 to $500 a speaker when you can just spend $2,500 on 2 of these bad boys? Let me ask you this. Do you strive to just be okay? Or do you strive for greatness? Why settle on, wow, yeah, these speakers are alright, I'm really happy I spent half my savings on this, instead of your friends saying, look at the fucking size of those things, the first time they see your new setup. Granted, you are sort of limited to what you can do with these bad boys. Music? Well, that's no problem. Movies? Well, that's no problem either if you're not an audiophile. A stand for your plant? At least once. Moving them anywhere but your living room? Just fucking forget about it. These things weigh as much as a neutron star. The home stereo is a solid B tier stereotype. Up next we have the song Stereo Hearts by Gym Class Heroes. The Stereotype was the anthem of the summer in 2011. It reached number 1 on Billboard's mainstream top 40 a single time. And that's still more first places than you. Don't hate. Although it's not as good as the one other song they have that people know, Cupid's Chokehold, featuring none other than Fall Out Boy's Patrick Stump, it still had potential to be quite high on this list. That is until you look at who was featured on this song. Adam Levine. Typically I'd say, oh, well, you know, separate the art from the artist. But it's fucking Maroon 5 we're talking about. Let's get real for a second. The whole universe knows about the cheating scandal that emerged in 2022 surrounding him and some Instagram model. And normally, I would never care about this. Because at the end of the day, celebrities are not real people. But man, you have got to see the way he types to women. And the way he talks to me. Also, he said you're not subscribed yet. So you should work on that. He literally said, I may need to see the booty. As if he's the captain of a pirate crew that just had a successful pillage. As much as I hate to do it to Gym Class Heroes, it has to be put in C tier. And you can thank Adam and his infidelity for that. There's one more stereotype on this list that I haven't spoken about yet. And that's the stereotype surrounding women being bad drivers. Now I know, you can tell me all you want about how this stereotype was created by the fragile male ego, and how you're actually a really good driver. And you can tell me all about how clean your abstract is, sure. But you and I both know. Anytime you see a school zone, you're going 3 times the legal speed limit. Starbucks in one hand, phone in the other, Taylor Swift blasting on the radio. Do you even know what a yield sign is? Have you learned that yet? You ever been in a head-on collision before? Do you want to? Why don't you do us a favor and leave the hauling of groceries to the professionals, huh? Anyway, that's pretty much it. Personally, I don't really see this being laid out any other way, but if you have any concerns or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, and consider subscribing. Also, please don't cancel me.